All right, what's up, everybody? So, we're doing another remote episode, and it is episode 20, which seems a little crazy.
That is
Already,
crazy.
yeah, already this far. And then hopefully, about to start booking some guests for December. Um, but anyway, that was irrelevant to the point. Today, we are going to talk about, we kind of are just, we didn't plan, we're just running with it. We're going to talk about knowing your worth and basically not putting up with crap. So,
Yeah. We both can really talk about this topic. I definitely have had trial and error of knowing my worth because of past experiences. It doesn't even necessarily have to do with relationships. I know a lot of things that we talk about is like relationship wise and like your partner and everything, but even knowing your worth with people you are surrounded by and if they're benefiting you for the right reasons or if they're not. And that's kind of something that I'm learning as well, of knowing my worth and having the right people around me that reminds me. It's a gentle reminder to myself of my worth too, because of those people who are in my life.
And it's actually pretty as simple as if someone doesn't add to your life, then like,
yeah, if they're causing, like, I seen a thing, if someone in your life is causing you to think like exclamation point and question mark, then like what are you doing?
I think I've seen this. Is it a
Yeah.
shirt?
Yeah, they have it as a shirt, but they have it also as like one of the quotes on Instagram. And it's just like, if someone constantly makes you feel exclamation mark, question mark, then what are you doing? Like, because you're constantly feeling like, what is? And one of the things that I have really stuck to as well is, if a person would, like, if they want to, they will, like if they want to be in your life for the right reasons, then they will. And I think it does go to play. You lose your worth a little bit whenever you are in toxic situations, negative situations with people who aren't serving you, and you kind of start losing yourself. And then once you actually get a grip on it and you like look in the mirror and you're like looking in the mirror and being like, who the fuck even am I? And that's where I feel like you also outgrow things. You go in, and whenever you start to realize your worth, and again, not putting up with the bullshit, you're like, okay, you kind of have to put your foot down. And a lot of people won't respect the way that you put your foot down. Of course, going about it in a mature situation and like going about it in a way that not necessarily not hurting feelings, but not being petty, I guess. Whenever you're putting your foot down and being like, hey, this is how I feel. This is how I look into the situation. This is how I think I'm being treated. It's not serving me. And then it's like, what do you need to do that's best for you? And it doesn't, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if they agree to it or not. If they're in your life for the right reasons, then they will support you with that, even if you choose to remove yourself from the situation.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
I had a thought and then I lost it. I think on this topic, the main thing in my mind is I'm watching a few friends really put up with stupid crap right now. And I just want to add them on all of this episode.
Oh, yeah, that too. And it sucks whenever you have people. So like, I know my worth. I've spent time getting to know my worth. I know what I deserve and I know what I have to offer. And so, like you said, I look into people in other situations and knowing what they don't deserve and knowing that they've lost themselves a little bit. And I definitely agree with you. There are people who are good friends to us. And I mean, there's even people in my life where I come across and I'm like, wow, you're a really good fucking person. You deserve better than what you're given. And they don't see their worth. And but also you can't be the person to make them realize their worth. You kind of have to do that on your own.
No, that's true. Just
And
gotta let people do their thing.
yeah.
It's funny because I went to that JP Sachs show, and he has a song called Emily that's for his friend named Emily, who actually lives here and is also not straight. But this song is basically him, and it's like it's just the song he wrote for her where he's just like, I'd be fine with it if she makes you happy, but she doesn't, and she's just familiar, and you think she looks good, so you just put up with shit kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so funny because he was like, he was talking about, when you have friends and they put up with crap from someone and you just really wish that they understood that they didn't have to put up with that and were worth so much more. And then he's like, how many of you are with that friend tonight? And ironically, I was with one of these friends tonight, and I just looked over and they were like cracking up, and I thought it was funny.
Yeah. And they know it too. People, they kind of do know it in the back of their head, and they know that situations aren't serving them for the right reasons. Again, we've all been there. I've also been there. And, as much as we hold on to things that like are not serving us and that aren't unhealthy, it is, I will say from my own experience, it is very hard, especially whenever you do love and care for someone, to surrender and put your foot down and be like, I don't deserve this, like type of stuff, because I think people tend to think about the other person and how they're going to react, and the scare, quotations, the scare of them no longer being in their life. And I think I read this thing, and it's like, it's weird how you have this person, you have this routine with this person, and then you go back to being strangers, but this time it's strangers with history. And I think a lot of people are like scared of that. I know I definitely have been. I've been stuck in situations where I just adore, love, care for a person so much to where I know that necessarily the situation isn't serving me, but I don't want to like lose them. And I think a lot of people are in those situations where they're like, I don't want to be the bad guy, or like, why am I having to lose this? Like, and it's not even necessarily, you don't have to be unhappy with that person. It's just you're grasping, you're literally gripping on, holding on so tight to something, thinking every single day that it's going to change and it's going to be different and it's going to get better. You have that high hope, but realistically, it's not going to change and it's not going to get better if, one, you don't know your worth, but two, the willingness that you both have to match the effort. And we've talked about that before, but that's where you kind of lose yourself, because you're putting all of that time into that situation where you adore and care about someone so much you don't want to let it go. And then you lose little pieces of yourself. And then finally, once it does come to an end, because eventually that ending is near, you feel it. Everyone feels that end, and they're like, oh shit. And it may not come for quite some time, but whenever it does come, you feel like you just were on your ass and you don't necessarily know how to get back up, because you spent so much time, energy on a situation because of the fear of losing them. And half the time, the other people are totally okay. And that's what's really fucked up. So like, you lose yourself and you lose your worth, but then the other person that like you cared for and you loved, they're like, it always seems like they're okay. And that's what, it's kind of fucking shitty. But
yeah.
But it all comes down to also in those situations of like people that we know that deserve better. I've learned something very important for my friends, and it's whenever I need space for them and also allowing them to have space for me. But one of the most important questions that I ask now is whenever I know a friend that's going through stuff is, would you like me to listen or would you like my advice?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And because sometimes they just want someone to listen. And as much as I hear how hurt they are behind their voice whenever I'm listening and everything, I just know that you can tell how much they care for that situation that isn't serving them. But also, again, like, I used to get so mad at people who wouldn't take my advice. Like, I was like, okay, I'm literally laying it out in front of you for you right here, right now. But again, whenever someone doesn't know their worth and like you can shake them and tell them, hey, you deserve better, you deserve the world, like, you're not going to get to them until they're on their ass, and you kind of have to pick yourself up at that point. And that's why I'm learning how to listen rather than to responding to how they are feeling, making sure that they're valid and kind of in a way giving them more hope, because no one wants a friend who's always dogging them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
No one wants to kind of hear that. Yes, I can give tough love and everything, but it sucks going through that with a relationship. And then on top of that, not having anyone to talk to about it, because you know that they're going to jump down your throat and be like, well, you know that you guys need to break up, or like, you know, this isn't good for you. Like, I've learned to keep my peace and just be open to the conversation and not necessarily shut them down or shut them out, because again, they care. They care for that person.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
tough
very
though.
much a fixer when I hear things, so I have to watch it.
Yeah, no, and you know, we think in those situations that we're not particularly in, but we have come across, we do things to fix it. We want to provide feedback to be able to fix it. But also half the time, like, I have trouble taking my own advice that I give to
Mm-hmm.
people.
I literally, in recent times, when someone asks me, like, there's been a couple friends with their situations they're like, do you think I should blah, blah, blah? Or they're like, would you do this? And I go, look, here's the thing. In my right mind right now, I would say don't do it. But also, if you do it, I'm not going to blame you, because I'm pretty sure if it were me, I would still do it. So I can't pick at you.
Yeah, no, that's literally how it is. And it's just like, I think frequencies, like how, I don't even know how to explain it, our mind expansion and everything, like how we go about these situations, how we take, if you take each situation that you have in your life and you actually learn from it and you observe it, you reflect on it, you feel it, you grieve it, you fucking have to do that painful alone, like being lonely, feeling lonely. But if you take those situations and you look back on them and you're like, okay, I'm not going to put myself in these situations anymore, then that's whenever you kind of know that your previous situation was a lesson for you to learn from. You can take anything that's thrown at you as a fucking lesson. Like, you can take it and, but also I feel what is the hardest part is like actually taking the time to learn from it or continuing to chase after it.
Yeah.
And it kind of becomes a blur because it's all about you're losing yourself while you're trying to, again, grip onto a situation that I feel like it's just one-sided. Like, one-sided relationships would be a main thing of where you kind of lose your worth.
Mm-hmm.
You don't lose your worth, but you don't think like, you don't think you're worthy. And at the end of it, like, that's whenever, again, you're falling on your ass and you're like, oh shit, I don't know how to get back up. But it all plays out of, I think, of taking those situations and reflecting on them, reevaluating the situation. And you really can. Anyone is more than capable to take those situations and learn from them and be like, I'm not going to let this happen again.
Yeah.
And yeah, respectfully, like, I kind of have this fuck you attitude, not necessarily fuck you, but like, I really don't want anyone one in my life that makes me feel fucking bad about myself. Who would, you know? And I get it. You want tough love and you want real people. And like, that's exactly what I want. I don't want people who are not serving me for the right reasons, because in the past, I've lost myself. I've lost my worth. And I wish I could put it more into words. I wish I had more to say on how to speak about it. But it's like, it's easier said than done, of course, in those situations too. But it really, like, you really, at the end of the day, you really, all you have is you. But that's okay. That's okay to have just you. It's okay to be alone. It's okay to feel lonely, because what I've learned is, yes, I have so much love to give to others, but why not look in the mirror and give that to myself? Why not pour a little of that love and that kindness into myself?
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, if I have that, if I can do that, then not only will I be able to love myself, but also in friendships and relationships as well. Like, I'll be able to give a portion of that, but I won't ever cross a line and lose myself again. That's how I see it.
You just really got on one.
Yeah.
In a good way. I like it when that happens. I will say, yeah, I think a lot of people, their biggest thing is they're so scared of being alone and like doing the work to do basically what you just said, that's why they just hang in there. And it's like,
yeah. But
at the same time, yeah. And at the same time, and it's really like, in the end, it's going to end the same. You're just putting it off, really.
Yeah. You're just, you know, that you have that feeling. I mean, and I think like, I also think another thing is with situations I've seen is like, if people actually took space for themselves, actually put in the work to heal, like constantly someone who complains but doesn't change anything about their day to day. It's like, at that point, not necessarily not feeling bad for them, but like, you aren't doing anything to benefit yourself. You're living in the past. You're letting the past dwell on the current. And like, again, you're scared. I mean, all these valid feelings. But still, if you don't change your day to day and you just continue to have that negative headspace, and nothing's going to change. You're putting it right there. You're putting it into the universe to present itself right there in front of you that way. And a big thing is if you take the time to actually heal, if people actually took the time to, I really do think of right person, wrong time type shit. Or like, I think that if you actually take the space and the time to heal for yourself and let all the past bullshit go, and not let it continue to get brought up in your current, then it could work. It absolutely could. And that's the kind of positivity that I wish other people had. It's like, okay, well, maybe not right now. It's not working. Like, you just have that scary thought of, oh, I'm losing them forever. But you don't know that. And you're in the unknown, and it's out of your control. But if you hope for the best and you actually take the time to heal, and by heal, I mean actually being alone. Don't fucking run around fucking someone else on fucking dating apps, whatever. Like, actually sitting in your pain at home, feeling all of it, letting it hit you. And, you know, it takes 14 days, or it's maybe 14 days or 30 days to get out of a bad habit.
I think it's 30.
30? It's probably 30. But anyways.
I wish it's 14.
Yeah. And that seems like a long time, but if two people actually did that, took the time for themselves and let all of their shit go, instead of, again, bringing it up constantly in the current, then like, it would be really good. It would be healthy. And that's where like I look into. I don't think that these people that aren't working out or maybe negative for each other, I don't think that they're not capable of being together in a healthy way. I think they just have toxic tendencies that are now in their toxic pattern and they're every day. And so because of that, it plays out the way that it does. And it doesn't have to be that way, but they make it that way.
And it also usually they get it from their parents.
And that too. Yeah.
Falls through a lot of times.
Yeah, no, that too. And for someone who just, I'm obsessed with love. I don't know fucking why, but I just know what healthy love looks like. And whenever I'm around people like my friends who don't have it, like it just hurts. Yeah. Because like, again, they could be really good if you just have to work through your fucking shit. You really fucking do. You have to learn how to know your worth. Because if you don't, then like, it's not going to play. The cards aren't going to be on dealt the right way, like for you.
Another thing I was going to say is it's like, which my saying to Morgan all the time is nothing changes till it changes. And that it's literally just going to keep happening until whatever it is going to repeat itself, or you're going to feel like you're stuck in that space until something changes.
Yeah.
But the other thing is it's like, I think some people, especially in a lot of things I see recently, they're just really hoping that the other person is going to change and like they see the potential. But it's like you also can't be with someone for the potential they can have. You have to be with them for what they are in the moment. And like, I don't know. I also think a lot of times it's harder. Like I know me right now with how Morgan and I are, and I've said this before, if we broke up, I could be wrong, but like, I want to believe I wouldn't put up with any bullshit again. Because now I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like, this has felt pretty easy. So I'm just like, I'm not trying to do level difficult. I'm really not. I'm like,
no, yeah. I mean, no, I get that. And that's the thing of like, that's what I'm learning, like through all of this. And that's what I want others to learn too, is like, also I'm still so young.
Yeah, funny. We celebrated my 30th birthday the night before we recorded this. So.
Yeah, dirty 30. But regardless, I mean, not even age, I guess it doesn't, but it's sad that like
it's
some
relative.
people. Yeah, it is. But I just I don't know where it goes. Like, I can't grasp of where necessarily it goes wrong, where just someone just one day, and it's not just one day I wake up and I give up. Like, obviously there's little things that play into it. But I guess that two people, like I feel like both individuals need to know their worth. And again, like 100% on each side of the effort. And even you will have days where you are lacking, of course.
Yeah.
But that's where communication, being open and communicating of each other and understanding of each other is like very important, not shutting the other person down. But it is in a way like, it's kind of like the manipulation I see, or like the gaslighting I see in other people's relationships. Again, like I can't speak on them because I'm not living in it every single day. But it's just so mind-boggling that in the moment of it, like that person doesn't even realize that they're being manipulated or that they're being.
Oh, yeah.
Until like near the end, once the end is the end, like you look back at it and you're like, holy fuck, like I actually was, no wonder I lost myself. No wonder I don't know my worth because of how much I was being dogged by this person. And I just don't feel like, I mean, I get it. They love each other. Like you say you love that person, but I just don't, I feel like that's not love. That's not my definition of love. Paring someone down to where they don't even, like, you're their purpose to wake up every morning. Like you're the reason they get out of bed. That's just, That's not healthy in my eyes. That's not,
Yeah.
if you feel like you can't live without a person, and of course you don't want to live without them, you know, but if
Yeah.
you're like, you've actually like, am like, I can't live without you. I can't do this without you, which we have those moments, of course, but also like in a realistic way, because I found myself thinking this way too. It's like, okay, actually, like that's kind of fucked up for me to say because like I can live without them. I don't need them. I want them. I want them here. I want them in my life. I don't need them to breathe. I don't need, you know, and that's where lives get mixed up because I think each relationship, each of you need to have your own individual life outside of that, you know, outside of that relationship and not making it like, I guess, so codependent on each other.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the codependency can definitely spiral down into losing yourself. And at that point, maybe, of course, both lose their self a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in situations like that, neither know their worth. But I don't know. It's just exhausting. And I'm not even in it. It's exhausting being like, I just don't know how a person can like just one day, the off and on breaking up. And, you know, it's just.
Yeah. And the other thing, I was going to say this before and I just lost it at the time. Also, I think Zoom was nice and just let us go over. So we're just going to let it roll. Is that one thing I thought of before talking about, like you were talking about taking time apart. And I was talking about seeing potential and stuff in someone and hoping that they'll change. And like, here's the thing. If that person needs to change something, they're not going to wake up to the fact that they need to, as long as you keep doing exactly the same thing and always caving in to the same thing. Mm-hmm. They have no reason to change. They're getting what they want out of it over and over again.
Yeah. And that's where, like, if they know you won't leave, and they may not even think of this, but if they know you won't leave and you'll put up with their shit, then like they're going to continue to do it. And that's where the self-respect comes in of putting your foot down and be like, actually, listen, like, and it's okay to even be like, I love you. Like, I adore you. Like, I care about you and you are treating me like complete fucking shit. And putting your foot down respectfully, I don't deserve that. And
making them have to reflect is the thing.
And holding them accountable, you know?
Yeah.
And that's where it gets rocky.
Yeah. And not letting them just waltz their way back in like a day or two later and do the same thing.
But that's also where, again, it gets rocky because it's hard to turn to that. It's hard going to that whenever for so long you've been in that negative pattern. So then all of a sudden you come in and you put your foot down. And then at that point, it might raise high intents to the other person. They're like, okay, well, fuck this. Like, fuck you. Like, I don't want this anymore. Like, and if it does come to that, then like, there's your answer. There's, you know, you're putting your foot down to knowing your worth and knowing what you deserve. And you're telling that person that you love and that you care about them, how you should be treated and how the situation is. You're trying open communication. And it's okay. All communication doesn't have to be about the good. It can be, I think, the good, the bad, and the ugly, communicating on those things and holding someone accountable and not letting it build up to the point where you just lash out. If you're bothered by something, if you're it's constantly like putting in your brain, like, oh my God, like I can't stop thinking about this, like, then absolutely bring it up, talk about it. And that's something that I have learned, like, is I can communicate and I can respond. I can be reactive, but I can respond in a very positive way. That's benefiting for both of us. And I feel like, again, any individual is capable of doing that, but also you can't push the person to want to do it. They have to do it on their own.
Yep.
And that's where true colors show up. And if you're at their feet begging while they won't change and you put your foot down and you're still begging, then at that point you look fucking dumb. I'm just gonna, like, I'm sorry. You look like Boo Boo the fucking fool, because they're not going to change. And if something needed to be changed, and if they loved you enough, again, the willingness would be there on both end, not just one. It's not one-sided. And it's just, it's sad. It's sad that I fucking hate the generation we fucking live in. I hate's a strong word, but it is absolutely sickening how people fucking treat each other. And again, I'm talking, this was relationship points, but also friends. Stop being fucking shitty to your friends. Be a good fucking friend. You can give them tough love, but be supportive and, stick up for them and have their fucking back. Where did we lose? I don't get where we lost the loyalty. It's lazy. It's just like the fucking world is lazy, and they give up quick, and they're like, oh, this isn't working out for me. Or like, I'm not over this situation. Like, let me just fucking give up. And I'm just like here to tell you, like, no, someone's worth the fucking fight for you. Someone's fucking worth it. But overall, if no one's worth fighting for you, no one's worth showing you what you deserve, then again, look in the fucking mirror and do it yourself, because you'll have that love. You can put that love into yourself. And then once someone comes about, because there's a million fish in the sea, like for real, there's more. You're gonna, and it can be right person, wrong time. Just let it go. Let it have its space. Let it surrender and let it work its course, because if it's meant, it'll come back. But people need to heal, and it's okay to be open about needing that healing. I just went on a whole fucking...
Yeah, you did. And I was going to add to it, like, one thing that's interesting is like, I'm getting on up there, but like when you're young, it's like, don't waste your, like, all, like, multiple Lord Siri's trying to talk. And I'm like, what are you doing? Don't waste like that time when you're that age on someone who like brings negative energy into life, because it's like there is plenty of time for good people to come in, and you're just missing out on time with actual friends and doing other things you really want to do.
And that's the thing. It's just like your 20s is I read something. It's like, no, I was actually talking to one of my good work friends about it. Your 20s is meant to be like up in the air fuckery. Like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? And the thing is like, what I've learned is I can't search for things. I can't, because they're not, the things that I search for don't end up benefiting me in any way, shape, or form. Because again, it's that chase and it's that want. And the universe is like, all right, let me give you this chase that you're doing, but like, it's not going to end good for you. And that's one thing I learned literally in January of this year, is that I do not chase, I attract. And that's where I'm at now. And that's what, if you surrender and you allow it to come to you, living in the moment, stop thinking about the unknown, stop thinking about the things that are completely out of your control, make changes into the things that you wake up and you're constantly battling yourself, make those changes, get up and do something differently with that. And it's scary losing a person. It really fucking is. And it has hit, like, it's hit me harder than ever, losing someone that I care about and that I see so much with. But also, like, again, I have to let it be that way, and I have to let it go. And it's my time to, like, we all need a little love for ourselves. And that's where I'm at right now. And it's scary. But it's also, you're going to look back. I know I'm going to look back 6 months from now, and I'm going to look back at this, and I'm going to be stronger than ever. Like and you're always going to have to heal. You're always going to have to learn things, but to an extent, like, you're going to continue to do better and be better for yourself, you know? And that's where I look at my outlook. Like, yes, you can wake up every day and you can be like, oh, I dread this. And like, I don't know, I'm in the unknown. Like, I don't know where this is going. Or you can wake up and you can be like, wow, I'm super excited for how this is going to play out. And like, I'm super excited for my future because I know that it's going to be beneficial to me. And I'm super excited for X, Y, and Z. Like, it can be all those things, changing your mindset. And then you start seeing those things happening around you. And it's serving you for the right things, you know? And this is one thing that I realized is I seen like 3 shooting stars on my way. I don't know where I was traveling from, but I seen 3 shooting stars. And like,
on one trip?
Yeah, it was fucking crazy.
I've only seen like 1 in my entire life.
Yeah, no, it was, well, I had a long fucking drive, but
still.
Yeah.
I'm 30 and I've seen 1.
Yeah, it was, but it was crazy because in that moment, that's not even, I mean, yeah, it's crazy. I seen 3, but I kept thinking, like, I couldn't think of a wish for myself. I was thinking of a wish that wasn't realistic at all. It was kind of like it was serving me, but also it was a wish where like, it was just not, I don't know how to fucking explain it in this way, but I was wishing for something that like, I wasn't doing it for myself. I wasn't wishing for me. I was wishing for situations. I was wishing, and yes, it's like a little thing to think about, but then like, that's whenever I kind of like stopped for a second, especially having 3, and I did it all 3 times. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Why the fuck am I wishing for, I kind of just had a grip for myself. And I was like, that's not even realistic. And like, if you like, of course, like, you wish whenever you see, but I'm thinking of those things and I'm like, what do I want for me? What do I want? Like, what do I actually want for myself, for my future? Like, those things. And that's something that I'm thinking of now. It's just like, I'm learning about myself right now. I'm learning about me and doing all of these things. And I'm like, wow. And it's been fucking hard. And, you know, my social battery is down more than it ever has been. Mm-hmm. But I'm going through it because I need to heal, and I'm okay with that. But next time, if I see a fucking shooting star, I don't want to be wishing for unrealistic things, that a fairy tale fucking ending, you know? I want to wish to those realistic things that can actually bring good to myself. And that's where I'm at. I'm at a point where I look in the mirror and I'm happy to tell myself that I'm beautiful, and I'm happy to not necessarily hear it from anyone else, because I don't really care what anyone else thinks right now. And I wish a lot of people could go through that, because some may, again, see me thinking selfish or cocky. It's not even that I'm cocky. It's that I fucking love myself. And if no one else can, I'll fucking do it. I'll do the job. I know how to love, and I'll definitely do the job for myself. So, but yeah, it's a time, and it's struggle, and it's all a process, and a little achievement, little progress that you make. But I also have hope. And sometimes you need that hope. Knowing that not necessarily right now is the timing right, but one day hoping it comes about. And if it doesn't, though, like, again, that's okay, because it will, not that particular situation, but it will come, but not when you're fucking searching for it and looking for it. It'll come to you.
And also, it's kind of like in times when something doesn't work out and it seems like the end of the world, one day something comes and then it makes sense. Exactly. On why that didn't work. And that's really the main thing to remember, is that one day that will not be the case. And then you'll go, oh, wow, I was really upset about that one thing, but like, this is why that couldn't be.
Yeah. And that's how I see it. And this year has taught me a lot of that. And again, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. I take it as it is and I learn from it. Do I have moments where I'm fucking bawling and I'm like, why? Yeah, of course, everyone does.
Yeah.
We're human.
Yeah.
But also I know I'm going in the right direction. And you don't have any time limit on how long it takes you to heal. Take all the time you need. If I've learned anything, that's what
now I gotta find the Casey Musgraves lyric.
The Casey Musgraves lyric.
She has a song. Hold on.
Oh. I haven't.
Hold on. I don't really know anything else about the song. I just know that I was driving and the song came on. I went, wow. I was like, man, that line.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, her lyric, it's in the song, I guess, Justified, but the lyric is healing doesn't happen in a straight line.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, honey, you got it on that.
No, you have to. The healing process is the hardest. And until you really latch on, and it's like, okay, yeah, you can go through a breakup, but if you're jumping right into other things right after, like, honey, you did not understand the assignment. You did not get that assignment, and the universe will throw that at you. And though I think it's all kind of a test, and I can gather whenever I'm failing the test and whenever I'm actually doing good for the test, passing it. But they have to realize on their own, and and they will. It may take some time, but it's once they do realize it, they'll be like, damn. Once you realize it, you'll be like, damn, I did the damn thing. Cliche, but it does get better. With time, things do get better. We're both living proof of that. You just ride the damn wave.
It's true. It is true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess here's about as good a spot as any to call it. It is holidays, so everyone have a good Thanksgiving. It's in a couple days from when this drops. So gobble. Man. Yeah. But yeah, so we'll see you next week, and everybody have a good week.
Bye.
Thanks, guys, for listening.
You can follow us over at No Subject Apparel on all social media.
You can discover us on YouTube.
And please like, subscribe, follow, and review us on whatever platform you're currently listening on.
New episodes will be dropped every Tuesday.
And you can sign up for our mailing list in the description of this episode to get a personal message from us and reminders for new episodes every week.